more Heroes Lounge. Another best of 3 series, and we got Franco's Apostles and Pakas on drugs. Aren't Pakas like a little bit the similar thing like llamas? Isn't that the same thing, the same family or something? I mean, they always look a little bit stoned, but I haven't really thought about giving them drugs yet, so I'm not quite sure what's going on the red team side, but I guess we're gonna find out. Over on the left, in blue, we got the Apostles, Vetters on Blaze, on our first map in the best of 3. Shinato on White Mane, Sephiro on Anubarak. We got Silesium on Ophia, and Protoss Frank is playing Genji. On the right side of the map, Mego on Thrall, yeah, on Diablo. King Solomon is playing Anduin. We got Taigo on Vala, and Soul Feast is playing Greybane. Auto attack style for Vala in Division 1 of Heroes Lounge, so the top division of the European amateur scene over here. And yeah, we got a couple of fun ones. I mean, already we have a double front line on each side. Genji obviously for a little bit of additional poke, and then Ophia, the schoolgirl, coming in and hitting like a truck with that big bit of a coffin over there. Greymane already now moving towards the top with the team. Don't get to see that many Volskaya games. That is still a little bit on the weird side. Do you take the objective? How much can you actually do with it? It's also interesting to note that we now have Vala with an auto attack build, despite the fact that she's technically not the hyper carry for the team. We have Greybane as well, so that allows her to, I mean, it kind of allows her to die. It's not like she is going to lose too much of her attack speed impact if she falls, because they still have another support. They have another DPS, another damage dealer that can help out a bit in the damage department if she is losing some of the stacks that she gets with her Gambit quest in level 1. But still, you wanna, of course, stay alive for as long as you can. Get the stacking process going, get those auto attacks up a little bit harder. As the teams are aiming for the first few camps and therefore the items. We also have, in the meantime, the next little push for Thrall. He made it out. So everybody is still playing this fairly safe, but with the earlier and very quick move towards their first item, we now have the Parkas going straight in for the healing beacon, so they already walk out of the early game with a slight advantage, simply because they are able to pick up both of the items, or 2 out of the 3. So pretty good for them. Great start for the first objective, or wherever they want to focus the fight on. In addition to that, we have now Thrall with the Frost Wolf pack right here. And yeah, towards the top, Sephiro also with his Beetles still pushing this out, but they're not falling for the trap yet. I kind of like the fact though that they are aiming for it in the first place. Now somebody should tell Thrall that he should move away from the lane, because I'm not sure that he's aware that there's a massive rotation coming his way. 2 are staying back to get the camp, but Thrall is not looking too hot here. And those conveyor belts didn't do him any favor either. So yeah, that is the end of Thrall. Loses the stacks for his level 4 quest immediately. And our poor boy is murdered. Green Jesus is dead. That was first blood in the game, as it stands. Down at the bottom of the map though. Yeah! And better. This is like, you haven't seen it. Is that an O in there? No, it's a double A, right? It's really called, yeah. 99999. Exactly. Interesting name to give yourself. Oh, a noob got wrecked. The beetle is down. The cockroach has been eliminated and might not be the only one. Ophia is dead, and now it's White Mane that falls. It's a triple, baby. They get the big triple kill here, and that eliminates 3 heroes quite quickly. That eliminates that experience lead that they were working on. So the Apostles have been kind of slapped around a little bit here. And with that momentum, not only do we get the top lane attack, but that wall is likely also going to fall. Vala, by the way, has now 38 stacks on her level 1, so she hasn't really hit the first quest reward there, but she hasn't died yet and is working this pretty well. In this case right now, Sephiro is also dealing as a bit of a pin cushion. And Vala is getting easy hits here. They're targeting Diablo more than anything else. So Vala was sitting at the front, getting more connects, and has now gotten her first quest reward with the 50 that she completed. And gets a little bit more as well. Thrall is at the bottom of the map, all alone on the lane. Nobody knows why, but they left him alone for a long time. We're trying to force that 5 versus 4 fight, I suppose, but that allowed him to take that wall down. And while the blue team has the lead on the checkpoint, they are still behind in experience, and there's a lot of stacking going on their opponent's side, which they shouldn't be too happy about. Now Nubarak, he went on level 1 straight into Regeneration Master, so it's not like he is not stacking either. But he's only sitting at 8 stacks right now. A couple of camps up they could technically take, but it seems like it's finally time for the objective to be focused on. There is a healing beacon on the map though, and that is immediately where the attention is being focused of the Apostles. So, are they gonna contest that? No. A little bit too late for that. Would have been kind of fun though. For us at least. But not really the smartest play to make there. A bit too early. And Ubarak dives in, misses, and gets instantly bullied around by Diablo. I still want to have a comic or some cartoons, you know, of like Heroes High School. If I would give the creatives on Blizzard like any kind of directive and be like, hey, this would actually be fun, then I would have gone for Heroes High School. I would have made skins very similar to Baby Ragnaros, you know, Baby Ragnaros, and it's just imagine if for every single hero you had like a baby or like a high school skin. You could have easily made that, and then you make cartoons out of it, and you tell little stories of Heroes High School, when all of them were in high school, and you know, Diablo just bullies everybody, and make that a fun thing. They could have done that ages ago. That would have been way better than the stupid, like, lore that they were trying to put in there with, like, the Raven Lord. Which, I guess, from the intent was nice, but, I mean, I personally would have loved some Heroes High School silly stories, trying to just make a little bit of fun for the characters and then give some skins, you know, where you can play them in the... You have Orphea already as a schoolgirl, you have Ragnaros there too. I think it's an awesome idea. Somebody else already pointed out, Nazeebo would be the weird kid with frogs in his pocket. You can do so much stuff with that. It's a shame that nobody did that. But yeah. Vala goes down, and that's a Gambit stack gone. Also, Orphea gets crushed. That's a kill for a kill, but still a positive trade for the blue team because it means that Vala has now a little bit less attack speed. They were still trying to go for the objective here, couldn't quite get it. Tons of items, by the way, used during that fight too. I mean, turrets on the checkpoint are already telling the story. And with 99%, the blue team got close, but it was heavily contested, and they might now lose it all. They need to start to accumulate their forces again if they want to have a chance. Level 10 abilities are obviously in, and here comes the hit and the kill against Whitemane. Nice. So, with that, here comes the play for maybe even Genji. Can they get... They're a little bit close to get the stun. If the Wolf connects, for example, they have a chance there. But that hasn't worked. In the meantime, the objective has now finally been locked in. When it comes to ults, maybe a little bit noteworthy that we have Earthquake from Thrall here instead of Sundering, so we're not going to get the Engage or anything like it. But they are now making the play for the first fort of the game, and this one is going to fall. They won't be able to save this one. So the fort is going to be taken out here, no doubt about it. So far, so good. And yeah, that means... what else can they now do? They are definitely going to try and... I was about to say take a little bit more out than only one fort, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here. Because at this point, at least, a little bit indecisive of where exactly they want to go. I expected to move towards the top and trying to take the wall out, but that wasn't the case. So now we have them instead moving down to the bottom of the map. I guess the main reason is because we already have the wall destroyed, so they're hoping to get some actual damage on the fort itself, which is happening, to be fair. But they won't be able to take it... Well, are they going to be able to take it out? Nah, they got close. Fia was trying to chomp them up a little bit. There's the APOC. A little bit random. Somebody fat-fingered. I think either Yas Cat just jumped on his keyboard, or he fat-fingered his skill a little bit. Maybe he was also just too eager to make the big boss play. But either way, premature clicking. Here comes the play for Shintao, though. Shinato. Yeah, they could have gotten that. Instead, Greymane gets destroyed. Greymane is down. I really thought they had that kill for sure, but not quite so. Greymane is down. Vala is nearly dead. She's at 81 stacks now and is jittering around a little bit here. They completely leave Diablo alone, so for some reason they don't like him. So Diablo gets crushed without any assistance from the rest of the team. respawns thanks to his full stacks on the souls. But still. As usual, the only souls that he still keeps is the 25. Those are the Blizzard executives that made the horrible choices around Heroes of the Storm and shut HGC down. Diablo keeps those. That's the few souls that he doesn't relieve. So yeah, they stay with him for very good reason. And honestly, I applaud that. So that is a decision that I can fully stand behind. Diablo, that's how you should act in a situation like this. So yeah, I agree. Now, in the meantime, 4 kills, 2-5. 81 stacks for Vala, 1 death on her. Damage output for our girl is currently at 21,000. Even Thrall is ahead of her. So is Genji. Fight still centering around the camps more so than anything else. And this time it seems that the Parkas are willing to fight for it. They see the play for the support game and they're like, well, wait a second, we have a word to say here too. But Thrall is down. Thrall is down. Apoc this time a little bit more successful. But they still can't get the kill against the Nubarak. The light pop on Greymane, but he jumped out of the fight just as it was about to proc. So they didn't get value out of that either. And that leaves the blue team in full control over the camp and therefore the healing beacon. So they come in and they take the beacon. Looking strong here. 5 kills to 5. A little bit ahead in experience. But also now the move for the top wall. And I guess the objective is going to be announced soon. So they might be ready to fall back on that and then make their play there. Currently not quite there yet, but yeah, slowly and steadily starting to work that down. I mean, the first thing they were getting is, of course, the wall destroyed. Back in the good old days, when he could still take the fountain down, they would have moved in for that right away. Blaze, great job at the bot lane, keeping the fort in play. But the blue team is going to get level 16 in a moment, and that's a decent window that they have. So either they make a play for the control point, or they try to force a fight here. They should definitely do something with it. I can understand that they played it safe and slow when they were so close to 16 that they didn't want to do anything. But now that they have it, now they should really do something with it. So, yeah. But no play for the camp, no invades, just the usual. A little bit sad. I think they could have been a bit more aggressive in this. It seems like they want to play for the objective, so that would have been a move get a head start. Vala now as Manticore is also very close to her second quest reward on level 1. Thrall following up with a bit of synergy for his level 1, went straight into Thunderstorm instead of going for Alpha Wolf here, which would of course been pretty nice for the synergy with his level 4 talent. I mean, both of them definitely possible here. And now they are going for Blaze, and poor Blaze is not going to stand a chance here. He will have to bunker up, but even that is not going to save him. There's just too many here. And he walks away into the other direction and is safe. Okay, Caster Curse kicks in. Vala goes down instead. And Blaze is just sitting there laughing and having the time of his life. They try for Whitemane. Here comes the follow-up on Diablo. They try for Greymane. Jesus. Absolute disaster. They ganged up on Blaze and couldn't even get the kill. And instead they lose 2 heroes and are now played to the wall. That was massive. That was more experience gains for the Apostles. That's a chance to push the remaining lanes back. That's a chance to go towards the top and take the objective. Push down the bottom of the map here as well. Yeah, this is looking really, really good for them. So, yeah, well done. Really good turnaround in that situation. That could have been a huge problem for them. Instead, they turned it into an opportunity. Save Blaze is now sitting at the top, getting the team the objective, and they're still poking the fort down at the bottom of the map, which they should get with a bit more ranged attacking, and indeed they do. So that is the first fort that gets destroyed on the red team side. The Apostles already lost 2. They lost the one in the middle and the one at the top. But now a chance to return the favor. I mean, already escorting the minion wave in is doing a significant amount of damage at the top right fort. Blaze is getting his team closer and closer to the first objective, sitting at 56% now. I mean, I guess it's going to be contested in a moment, but that's still a very nice head start. Vala during all of this has not been able to complete her second quest reward. She has not hit the 100 yet. I guess that's going to happen soon. But yeah, she's still at 27,000 damage. She's falling farther and farther behind in the rankings here. Thrall is still leading the charts. And Thrall gets attacked right away. Saved by Anduin. Good for him. Could have gotten dangerous. But Thrall is still in play. Ophia and Genji, both essentially the same damage numbers. And it is that battle over the healing peak. Way fiercer battles here than over the objective. But I mean, again, Volskaya, right? So 7 kills to 5. Everybody wants to go under the point. Greymane makes it. Somehow survives. Diablo alone, though. Trying to save the day. Can't. He goes down. Greymane gets murdered. And I think we're going to see Thrall fall too. And Genji actually executed Vala in the back and is now making a move for Anduin, who's also not going to make it. That's going to be a 5-man wipe right here. They take the fort out immediately, and now apparently with the help of a double camp, the push for the top side keep. Huge play by the Apostles. I mean, massive, massive play by them. They are now way ahead in kills. They just flipped the game around. They already had lost 2 forts at the time, finally destroyed one at the bottom of the map and built up some momentum. And now with this move, they got their level 20. They have the objective locked in. Blaze is currently bringing in over together with the rest of the team. And they are eliminating the first keep of the game. So a massive, massive move by the Apostles. And now the chance to also do some damage to the core. They are going to try for it. Anduin, going for another 10 seconds. We're 15 minutes into the game right now, but they're going to look for kills here. They want Greymane, and they get him. The X-Strike from Genji comes in and drops him. Well done. Vala is dead too. That is a disaster for the Parkas. Vala died 4 times now. It's nearly all of her additional attack speed already gone. The shield on the core is slowly being decimated. And this should be game number 1 here in the Division 1 match of Heroes Lounge between the Apostles and the Parkas. 15 kills, 16 kills to 5. They're going for another 5-man wipe here. At least they're trying and they get it. 5-man team wipe. They round out game number 1 in this series and take the victory on Volskaya Foundry. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Second map in the series is Infernal Shrines. The blue team has taken the lead after the victory on Volskaya. And now we got some trolling. Look at that. Suljin. Suljin is in the house. Silesium is playing the hero with Zephyro on Diablo, Protoss Frank on Junkrat. We got Vetters on Urel and Shinato on Brightwing. On the right side of the map, Migo on Leoric. This is a cool name, by the way. Migo, like... I could make so much fun about this. Yeah! On Garrosh, we got Taiga on Vala, Soul Feast on Gul'dan, and King Solomon is playing Stukov. It's a little bit of a weird nickname to give yourself. King Solomon, really? Like, am I the only one that's like sitting there and like, eh? But, okay. Insta 5v5 in the middle. Tychus is missing in this game. We have instead Suljin for some extra damage, but what we have is Vala for the 2nd time in a row. So it seems like they just thought, you know what, Vala didn't quite work out for us in the first game. How about we play her again and see what we can do right now. Maybe we're able to get a bit more damage out of her. I wouldn't really have objected to a multi-shot build here either, for obvious reasons. You get a lot of value around the objective on the shrine, and they're not playing a hyper carry Vala in this game either, so it's not like there's a double support or anything behind her. So in this case, you could have really gone for some multi-shot action and just try to get make the best out of the objective. You still got Gul'dan too, it gives you even more AoE, but they seem to want the single target damage, and time will tell if that is going to work out for them. With Manticore later and decent attack speed bonus, they could definitely make this a really annoying time for Diablo, and I suppose that's the goal. We have, by the way, on level 1 for our boy Suljin, Bone Slicer. And we'll see what the level 7 choice is going to be for him. Now, talking camps, Parkas are instant. I was still kind of amused, by the way, by that team name. The Parkas on drugs. And I feel I have like the wrong thing in my head, but every single time I think Parkas right now, I have a llama in my head. Anyways, so they're going for the neutral camp first to take their own. It gives them 2 out of the 3 mercenary camps at the bottom of the map. Well, I got a couple of stacks initially. Diablo gets a bit of Brightwing support here as Leoric is all alone up at the top. Space Goat has not moved in yet. So Urel could still do that. And yep, there comes Death Dealer. For Suljin, we get Voodoo Shuffle. And I just want to see if Suljin is able to stack. I mean, he's already getting some decent stacks out of this, but he also runs straight into Garrosh, who has nothing better to do than throw him around here. Talk about throwing things around. A lot of displacement. Junker in the mine against Stukov as well. But Suljin is the first one to fall, and that's always bad news, because a dead Suljin can't stack. And your whole goal at the end of the day in a situation like this is you want to start stacking. You want to get to 15 stacks for the range increase, and to your 30 so that you get the double swing on the axis and can fully use that during an objective. So every single kill against Suljin is already shutting that down and slowing him down. Not something that the Apostles will be too happy about. Suljin is someone that shines as so many heroes with stacks in the late game. Vala on 12. And the Shrine activates in 2. But nobody takes care of it. Actually, the entire red team is now moving towards the top. They want that fight here. Right wing is still alone at the bottom of the map, but they want that fight here up at the top. And Migo goes to the back line. And here comes the flip from Garrosh. Lift with the knees, my friend. Oh yeah. And lift he does. Suljin, more stacks for him. Suljin is the one that really benefits from a battle like this. So does Vala. Gul'dan still gets killed, but Suljin is now on 10 stacks, so good for him. They haven't even started on the objective yet, and finally Vala is making the play here, which gives us the first few stacks for them. It is a Frozen Punisher, so the Apostles should have a huge incentive to deal with that, because Frozen Punishers are generally still pretty darn strong. Now, 12 stacks already for the Parkas. And as the blue team slowly takes over, Gul'dan comes back, so they still have to fight over this, but the Apostles are now taking control of the spot. 1 kill versus kill. Garrosh again looking for a flip, gets one, tries to go for Diablo, who's definitely gonna get crushed here if he stays longer. Brightwing helps out. Both nearly identical in points for the objective. Oh, but Gul'dan, yeah, fully surrounded and is able to get out, get saved here. Nice for him. Gul'dan should have died there. Gul'dan should have definitely died. A little bit more focus, a bit more damage dished out quickly, and he would have gone down. But now we have 30 stacks to 27. Gul'dan using all of his AoE to control that point for them. And also keeping Suljin at bay, who on level 7 did not go Arcanite Axis, but Vicious Assault instead. So he's on 13 stacks now, doesn't have the range increase yet. The red team has taken the Punisher, and with the Frozen Punisher, they are going to be able to do the first bit of damage down here. So, immediately, the jump on the Brightwing. Nice bait over the wall, though. I like that already. So, they baited properly over the wall to limit the damage, pull the Punisher into the fort. The wall's still gone. A little bit of damage on the fort itself is obviously inevitable, but it was a decent defense. Did the best that they could. Frozen Punishers are always tricky to deal with. Leo was already up at the top, but now that Urel is down here, it's a 5 versus 4. Junkrat kind of missing the play against Gul'dan. It would have been nice if he could have done something about it and maybe drop him. But Leo is still getting value up at the top. They have a leading experience, so they're slightly ahead here. Letters on Urel is now moving in too. And down at the bottom of the map, yeah, Suljin is helping to take the camp. Still waiting for his first quest reward. Same for Vala, but she hasn't died yet, so that's good. I mean, we've only seen 2 kills so far, so it's not like we had a lot of deaths in this game yet. Something that is most likely going to change. Bit of an invade at the top right. Brightwing, as the global, is still getting good value for the Apostles. I mean, not really a hero that has a lot of AoE damage that can take the waves down, but you can still sit on the side lane, do a bit of work, and get the extra experience for your team before you move into the actual fight. Diablo now fully stacked, so that's good for him. Both teams with the level 10 abilities. And Brightwing with Blink Heal. And Suljin, for a second I was scared that it would go Guillotine here. Taz Dingo. Alright, so it's gonna Taz Dingo it up. We have the next wall stun. Diablo looking for the bully play. Leo moving away, and I think he's not gonna make it here. Gets the drain on Urel. That's good. Apocalypse! And Leo gets out. They're trying to turn it on Urel. She's low in mana, gets entombed. Brightwing to the rescue, as over there on the right, we still have big plays made by Garrosh. He helps them to kill Suljin again, but then dies a moment later. Still good for Vala. Vala is getting stacks together. Suljin is getting slowed down in his own stacking process, despite the fact that he's now on 15, so he has the increased range. But every single Suljin kill is a big step forward for them. So, yeah, that's a neat little move. Very close game, though. Game number 2, and it is a very, very close one between the two teams at this point. Gul'dan is currently on 20,000 damage. A little bit behind Junkrat, who's sitting on 21k. Next objective should also soon come in. Yeah, and both of them have their Shaman camp now as well. So, down at the bottom of the map, Taigo starts moving in. Here comes... Oh, yes. Here comes the attempt to make a little kill happen before the objective is actually good and ready. Vala will likely now also rotate towards the top. I mean, honestly, the objective is up in 8 seconds. Currently, there's nobody sitting there, not even one of the side laners. If you want to instead go for the bottom push, that you can do, of course, during the first and second objective, that's still a legit tack that you just say, hey, we're going to get value here. And we don't have to go for the Punisher, we just need to outpush them a little bit. That's totally alright, but in this case, I don't think it's happening. So they're looking for the fight at the top. Brightwing has now moved in. Horrify, but yeah, that didn't hit properly. Didn't properly connect the Horrify here. Yeah, in comes the kill. Garrosh goes down. Great news for the blue team. It's match point. For them, it's match point. If they can win this one, it's a 2-0 victory. So... right now, the push into the wall, Leo is also dead. That is bad news for the Parkas. Parkas are in some serious trouble now, because very likely the objective is now given up. There is already a split onto the lanes by Junkrat, by Urel. So they're trying to not only get ahead in experience on the lanes, but then also the push up at the top with the objective itself. Now, that's actually something that the Parkas can still fight for. Because they haven't really focused on it too heavily. I mean, look at this. They're just barely getting stacks together. They needed someone there, and they just didn't get anything. They got several kills just now, and they only have 8 stacks. That's not a whole lot. So this is not looking too... well, it's not looking bad or anything, but they are ahead in experience now. The problem is just simply they haven't made any real progress towards the objective, so they haven't won this one yet. And if Diablo now dies, that would be an issue. He's at least stacked, so he would be back soon. And yep, goes down, respawns, has to make his way back over towards the fight. But for now, it's a 5 versus 4. The Horrify connects again, but the Horrifies are just not really on point. They're a little bit too... they push the heroes out instead of in, so that didn't do anything for them. But what definitely does something for them is the position that they now have on the Shrine. So they take the lead in Shrine minions as Diablo is moving in. Yeah, careful now though. Leo should honestly focus a little bit more on those minions here. Doesn't have an entomb either, so nothing he can use on that. 20 stacks for Suljin. Apoc and no play around it. So that's an ult that didn't do a whole lot. Maybe pushed him back a bit, but that's about it. Vala looking for stacks as well. It's not only Suljin that is trying to weave those auto attacks in. 4 kills to 3 and still 9 to 13 Shrine minions. Junkrat is able to get away. They're all looking for fights. They're all looking for fights and for kills now. It's all that matters here. The angle and the kill. Suljin pops his ult. Diablo's dead, and this time he's down for good. This time he's down for the full duration. So 5 versus 4 for the Parkas, and that could give them the objective. At the beginning, it was the exact opposite. It was the blue team that got the kills, that had the superior position, but they didn't focus enough on this. They split their forces a little bit thin on the lanes because they wanted to get a damage there, they wanted to get experience, and now they're missing out on the objective. 35-37, they're grabbing it. The Parkas are grabbing the next Punisher. This is the second Punisher that they're holding now. Blue team has split onto the lanes in an attempt to do damage, and to be fair, that's exactly what they're doing at the bottom of the map. That's nice structural damage against the fort. Leo is moving in to try and push them back now, and yeah, they're already retreating. That would have been a nice interrupt. Yes, he gets it! I was just about to say, that was a bit close. You're right in vision, so that interrupt was... I mean, they begged for this. And with the fort gone at the top, that also means now that we have a situation going on in which the Parkas could do even more damage here. And it's exactly what they're looking for right now. So, as the moves are slowly being made for that keep wall, and the keep itself is also going to take some damage. Leo has not joined the red team at the top lane though. He's still sitting in the middle, guaranteeing them a bit of extra experience and also pushing the mercenary camp back that was still sitting there. So the early level 16 for the Parkas gives us also Manticore. Vala's gone into Tempered by Discipline as her level 13 choice. Yeah. Still very even, but the momentum has shifted slightly in favor of the Parkas. I think that was honestly a situation in which there could have been a lot more done by the blue team if they would have just gotten the objective the way that they intended. But currently, a bit dicey. Damage. Suljin is sitting on 36,000. It's not too bad, but it's not crazy either. Jungler is ahead with 39k. But then again, I don't know. Vala and her auto attacks, I'm not really a big fan here. Game number 1 was already a bit iffy. Here, I think I would have preferred multi-shot. Taigo now finally weaving some attacks together. Going for Diablo. Yeah, alright, now we're talking. So that was also a much better Horrify from Gul'dan. So this is where we're getting some extra damage in. And damn, they're absolutely cleaning house right now. 4 heroes dead. They killed everyone except for Urel. That gives them an easy fort at the bottom of the map. And honestly, it's just a matter of choice. I mean, what are you going to do right now? Seems like they're deciding on taking another keep wall out. Vala is now at 100 stacks. That last fight was definitely much, much better for them. And they opened the side wall quickly. Urel is still sitting at the top. So they're going to get this entire wall, and there will be some keep damage. Not sure if they can... I doubt they can take the keep. But a little bit of damage is definitely possible. Yep, and they get it. So Leo is stopping the camp at the top. It's more than a level lead now for the Parkas. And another camp about to be claimed down here at the bottom of the map. So that's the next one that they're going to make them move for. But yeah. This is going to get kind of interesting now with the next objective. Because 20 could now play a role. It might not, but it's one level that they're missing. Objective hasn't been announced yet, so there's still plenty of time to get the experience there. And once that you do, you are in a great spot to make the play here. So, given the fact, I mean, the next objective is at the bottom of the map. They already opened the wall up. There's only the keep standing. They could do a lot around this. Yeah, they definitely could do a whole lot with this now. So I'm a little bit curious. I'm really a bit curious to see what they are gonna be able to do around the next objective. How much damage they can do with that. If they can grab it in the first place. Because, oh, great shove just after the APOC engage from Diablo. 20 is not quite there yet. 20 isn't quite there yet, but again, they're getting close on this. And we'll see. For now, at least, it seems like the blue team is gonna have the upper hand at the beginning. Red team just wants level 20. They're playing this so slow because they just want to have a few more minions. And they find them now at the bottom of the map. That's also the reason why the blue team is now retreating. Suljin has not completed his baseline yet. His quest. He doesn't have the double swing yet either. So, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Nothing too insane, but it's definitely a little bit annoying for them, I'd say. And there's level 20. So, with level 20 talents now in, that's of course the next big question right there. How much damage can you do now at the bottom of the map? This is where the real push happens. At the top, fort has been destroyed. Leo moved in. Has, if anything, to be a bit careful here. Suljin shouldn't chase him too much either. Guys, you are missing out on defense. That keep is basically gone before the Punisher is even here. I think you really made a mistake not trying to poke them down sooner than that, because you just gave up a lot. And Suljin dies! What? Suljin just dies! Not even the Entomb, the Buried Alive being used for that kill. That's their main damage dealer essentially gone. And this looks like game number 3. This looks clearly like we're going to a third game. They're baiting the Punisher over. So far so good, but the core is already down to 40%. Yep, this is not working out for the Apostles. The Parkas take it, and we go to the third map and the final map of the series. GG and well played. Final map, game number 3. We're on Towers of Doom. And I guess we're gonna get Vala again. So some heroes or some players certainly have their preference picks over here. Over on the left side, first and foremost, we got the Apostles with Chinato and Lucio. Protoss Frank on Falstad. We get Zephyro on Muradin again. Silesium on Hanzo. And Vetters on Leoric. On the right side of the map, the Parkas. After winning on Infernal Shrines, they forced the third map of the series. We got King Solomon on Rhaegar with the Totem build, Migo on Blaze, Ya on Nubarok, Soul Feast on Junkrat, and Taigo is playing for the third game in a row, Vala. So I pretty much expect the same build, and yep, there it is. Auto attacks are kicking in. Now, the only question is, of course, how much value are we going to get here from them this time? They are sneakily moving down to the bottom of the map, trying to get a tower halfway destroyed. They're actually taking the entire thing down. Damn, that's value. Always assuming that they can escape here. Bit of a push in the middle. It would have been a fun one, honestly, if the blue team had the same idea just at the top lane. I love when teams just destroy structures at the start and is a race for buildings before they start to settle into a normal rhythm. Always changes the dynamic of the game a little bit and is fairly entertaining. But yeah, we'll see. For now, Muradin has to jump out. Let's bully it a little bit. Vala gets some initial stacks together. Again, we'll see how much is being done here. This is Division 1. I would still expect that we're going to get some decent Vala stacks out of all of this, but the last two games, especially on Infernal Shrines, I personally would have loved the multi-shot build a little bit more. Just feels like Vala is also playing quite passive because there's no second healer, which oftentimes doesn't result in too many of the stacks, but at least last game the auto attack speed was still there, and once that you kick in with Manticore, that of course gives you a lot of extra damage that you can then utilize. So Protoss Frank is now locked into a 1v1, and there is that typical early game aggression again. Yeah, trying to steal the camp away. Just a little bit too late to the party to actually make it happen. So didn't work out here. But still, I like the idea. I like the impulse. The impulse to go in and just say, let's fight. Makes it kind of entertaining for sure. And talking about fighting, they're already at it again down at the bottom of the map, starting to make the play for kill number 1 in this game. So who's going to be able to get first blood? Time will tell. Right now, this might actually be the first one right there. Muradin! Yep, and he gets grenade. Grenade full to the face, and that is Muradin gone. So, Muradin eliminated, and they might even get more out of this. Damn, they're actually getting, I don't want to say greedy, but they are getting hyper-aggressive around all of this. They are not content with the kill on Muradin. They're just immediately going for it and saying, you know what? We want the entire thing. Give us all you got. Bell Tower, thank you very much. 2 minutes 30 into the game. Forrester didn't even fly down. Instead, he was trying to attack a bit at the top. But that's huge. That's a super early Bell Tower from them. And that's way more than I expected they would get. So it's certainly a decent amount of momentum in the early stages of the game. Question is then, how long can they actually hold this? Not sure, to be honest. But it's still a big win to get it in the first place. Now, it seems like Junkrat gets the middle one at the bottom right for free. That's wild. Rhaegar at least gets killed here, so maybe the blue team is able to pick up 2 after all. But this one is definitely, this is really difficult to take. Blaze goes down, but Hanzo falls as well. You still have Junkrat, so that's kind of nice. Because you can always interrupt as long as he's still alive. Vala is gone, that leaves them with only 2 defenders, but as I said before, when you have Junkrat, you can do a lot with these moves. So right now, they lose out on the bell tower regardless, so it's 5 shots fired against 6, meaning the red team is still slightly behind. I mean, I think that could have been played a little bit better. They don't need to rush it. They could have just tried to defend a bit longer. That's definitely in the cards when you have Junkrat who can just throw grenades around. And on top of that, of course, you have also Blaze for an interrupt. So if you just play for time there, you usually find yourself in a pretty decent position. They decided that they don't or didn't want to make that play. Now it's 4 kills to 2. We have on top of that also, yeah, slight experience lead for the blue team that they're going to try and maintain here. But with the bell tower at the bottom left still not being retaken, it also of course means that the red team generally has more control over this game. They're even stealing the pumpkin camp away here, as the Apostles are trying at least to reclaim that bell tower, but it's not really happening just yet. So those pumpkins, there's 6 now coming in, might do some work. If they had Falstad on their side, they could just simply gust that in or the opponent away and get the pumpkins in. But let's see if any of them connect. The blue team is certainly trying to prevent it from happening. But yep, there's the first one that connects. Lucio's a little bit too late, and ooh, that's 2 more. Oh, that hurts. Oh my god. That is 6 shots off the core, 6 points. 29 for them now. That is unlucky, to say the least. Now, bottom of the map is where the single altar spawns. That's more bad news for the blue team, because this is a very difficult altar to reach for them. Bot lane control is always important for so many reasons, but one of them is that every single altar that spawns at the bottom of the map is difficult for you to access if you don't have an altar to fall back on. So it's an easy channel. They kill Lucio as well. That's already 5 more shots fired, and now it's 34 points to 24. And guys, we're just now hitting level 10. So very, very early disaster in this game for them. It's a little bit rough. Yeah. Definitely a bit on the rough side right now for the Apostles. They were in the lead. They had the 1-0. They did fantastic on the first map. And then second game didn't go... I mean, honestly, it felt a little bit like they just didn't take that push too serious through the bot lane. Then they lost Suljin too early. They lost the keep too early. Didn't poke the Punisher down. And all of a sudden, it was just game over very early on. And in game 3, it has been from the start a lot of momentum for the Parkas. Kill lead went to the blue team, but then after that, thanks to that bell tower that was claimed so early, the ball was always in the court of the Apostles. They needed to make a play, they needed to react, and so far they haven't done anything that would give them control over their bot lane again. And the next altar phase is also spawning an altar again at the bottom of the map, which means that would be a freebie, at least on one of them, for the red team. So it's a really bad spot for the Apostles, and they have nobody but themselves to blame. That was defendable. That bot lane push for the bell tower could definitely have been defended, but they didn't do it, and yeah, that's a huge issue now. So Protoss Frank at the top is trying to exploit the global that they have. I mean, this is a huge card that they can play. Can see it actually on experience right now, that in minion experience the blue team is ahead. That's the one thing that gives them that experience lead and still keeps them in play. But the altars are spawning, and now it should be a freebie on the bottom. Anybody could channel this, and then we'll find out what happens with altar number 2. It seems like the blue team is actually eager to go in and fight for both of them. They want to win that team fight right now. They don't have a retreat point on either side. That's a huge issue. They won't be able to get away here. There's the kill on Falstad. Nice Ancestral. Ancestral was great and kept them in play, but with now Falstad and Hanzo gone, Vala is looking for a kill on Lucio. Gets the arrow connected. That's a triple kill. And they are following up even with more. They don't get Muradin, but they are going to get Leo. The shots are already fired, and they're going to get another altar, which means another 5 shots against the Apostles. It's a disaster for the blue team, an absolute nightmare. They can maybe even... I mean, they could try and claim another bell tower in the middle. Their timers are a little bit too low, to be fair, to do anything about it. But the shots are inevitable, so now we're having 14 points to 34. Yeah, blue team has to pray for the late game now. They have to pray for late game momentum. This is the biggest comeback map in the pool. I am not going to get tired of saying this every single time we are here, because it's just simply a fact. You can come back here. We've seen teams that were down in the single digits going up against opponents that were sitting on 36 points and still win it because the late game just flipped everything on its head. That's also possible here, but it's not easy to get back there. Now, on the positives, Bell Tower at the bot lane has now been recovered. They've retaken the Bell Tower. They are roughly at even experience with the red team, so it has been reset a little bit. If from this position onwards the Apostles can start to put their own mark onto the game and dominate this a little bit, then great. Now, one bad news compared to the first two games is that Vala has now actually gotten some serious stacks. She's currently sitting at 127, and she has died only once. That means 5% of the attack speed bonus is gone, but that's all that she lost out on. So not a lot. Arrow, nice connect. Can they get the kill on Junkrat? They're trying. Falstad came in. Nice Entomb. But the Ancestral saves Junkrat, and now they can maybe turn it on Muradin. He gets immediately attacked. Lots of hits are now coming in, and Falstad dies again in Uparak with a final blow. Vala, a little bit low in HP, but she still wants the damage, and she is actually working the auto attacks in very nicely against Leoric. Gives her 27,000 damage in total, easy top damage in the game, and now that they've taken several heroes out, they're again making a move for the Bell Tower, and they claim it once more. So again, control lost over the bottom of the map. 5 more points. It's single digits on the core now for the Apostles. They need a real big play now. Shots are fired, 9 points to 34. Half a level behind. And just a question, what are the Parkas now gonna do? Opening some of the walls up here for the additional Bell Towers would of course be a nice little play. And they seem to be going for... Ooh, that's a ball play. That is a throw play, potentially. Yep. Falstad has Gust, by the way. He's maybe a little bit too late. Falstad is now slowly coming in. There's the arrow. Who takes it? Who's claiming it? There's the Gust, and he misses Blaze. He misses Blaze. And can the red team claim it? They're trying to go for kills, and Uberok is still alive. They're going for Muradin again. Muradin, grenade after grenade. They're not giving up on this. Vala has chased Falstad. She's not here. Vala is missing. They're not getting it. Oh, triple kill. Falstad, Leo, Lucio, and Muradin are all gone. 5-man team wipe. The entire team gets wiped off the map. 13 kills, 2-5. Only Rhaegar got murdered, and now they should go straight up for the additional Bell Towers. Top lane, that one got taken by the minions at least. But boy, was that a huge reset. And what's coming up next? Oh, of course, it's the triple altar phase. If they get a Bell Tower here, one altar is going to be enough. But they need to get a Bell Tower. And currently it seems like they can. I mean, they can count 2, I suppose. So they grab this one. Top side. Blaze is still working. And somebody should just go down to the bottom of the map and try and channel this one through. Vala, not sure why she's still fighting there. She might actually... She is going to die. She's 100% going to die. So Falstad is flying to the top right. There's a double channel already happening. Nobody made it down to the bottom of the map, by the way. That's the safest Bell Tower that they have, and for some reason, nobody went there. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Falstad goes down. Rhaegar wanted a bite. Now they're channeling. This might be it. And it's... Oh, it's a win. They take it. They claim victory. The Parkas, with 2 wins in a row, turn the series around and win it. The best of 3 series in Division 1 against the Apostles. GG.